that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me? Who?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighters beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing on this evening? How are y'all doing on this lovely evening, man? Just wanted to talk a little boxing today, man. And I'm definitely gonna stay off the beaten path, man. It's just getting saturated. This would be normally one of them times when I would take a break. Especially when people like Tim Bradley, of all people, is like now the voice of reason. Like, man, I'm proud of Tim. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you be listening, Tim, but if you do, man, tap in with me, man. I like this Tim Bradley. And I see you, AC. Let me go ahead and add you on here. But before I get into tonight's segment, man, and we dive in, into some of these other players, I just want to point something out in typical Bodywork fashion. And it's ironic AC pulled up like right in the nick of time, because these are the type of things that I be trying to point out as far as, how the game goes and how everybody be gaslighting, and I gotta go over that. And I was gonna have a thumbnail for this, but I said, you know what, maybe later. But gaslighting, right? I gotta go over that because that's part of the curriculum. I gotta touch on that and reiterate that, because it's still going on. To manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning. It goes on all the time, man. It's all kind of manipulation. It's like, man, I guess people don't get enough games in their everyday life, like with people playing in traffic, people playing in business, people playing with you out in public places. I guess we got to come online and play more games. So I got to go over gaslight, and I got to remind you that in the conversation of boxing, it goes on daily, all day, every day. And you see the glaring examples, but this is one of them. Now, I'm only going to touch on this because it's the latest news. We was talking about it in the group chat, but there was a press conference with Richardson Hitchens and George Kambosos. Salute Bills. Salute Cookie Monster. Bodywork. Sounding good as usual. That's what I like to hear. I appreciate you, man. Salute Bill, salute Cookie Monster. But we was going through it's a press conference going on today. And it was with Richardson Hitchens and Kambosos. And I was a little late to the party because most of the time when I'm working, if I can't really focus, if I want to see and really interact with it, I'll wait till later. But since it was brought up, I said, let me check it out. So I sat, I watched it, and I couldn't help. I was like, yeah, I already heard the the stuff that was surrounding around, like the opinions of everybody about this Richardson Hitchens. And, you know, a lot of people saying he's sounding all cocky, he's this, he's that. I'm like, listen, man, he talking this smack to Kambosos. This is his time to shine. This is what he's supposed to do. But if he wasn't doing that, they would say he boring. Like, I noticed that a lot of, like, when the fighter they don't like, when the boxing fans and it's fighters that they actually have an agenda against, man, they do the same things. They rinse, wash, and repeat these same tactics and methods, because I seen it with the Charlos. You know, I hate to keep saying it, but I see it with Tank, like how they just twist stuff around and how they take these stances, and it's just like, well, you didn't feel like that when this other guy was doing it. Even with the aftermath of how it all turned out, you still didn't want to do it. Everybody want to grant this man mercy and serenity. I'm not going to kick a man when he down. I'm like, oh my goodness. But you got a champion who worked all the way from the mud, went to the Olympian, got the pedigree, like ain't been out here cherry picking. Ain't been out here loudmouth. Ain't got no father out here capping and caping for him. Buying people off. And you can't even respect him enough to let him have his time to shine. And he from the Big Apple. I don't understand it. So I just kind of wiped out the whole thing, because you know how Kambosos can be. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way a while ago with his tactics and his antics, you know. So I was just like, man, like, Kambosos is, you know, a worthy name, you know, definitely got a fan base, definitely have history. And we do want to see what Richardson Hitchens is going to be able to do with Kambosos. This is a test of some sorts. Even though people are discounting Kambosos, he is a name. It's the reason why they keep giving him these checks. You know, I don't think he's been relegated to a journeyman with just 3 losses. 2 of them being to Devin in 24 rounds. 1 of them being stopped by Lomachenko. You know, now he's moving up. Got a second lease on life as far as his boxing career in another division and all that. So we want to see what Kambosos is going to do, since he's finally getting his bite at the apple. But in the background, in the whole circumstances surrounding, I didn't understand why Bill Haney was there. And I'm just going to talk about this. I didn't understand, why was he there? Why was he heckling? Why is he... See, I told y'all, man, this man is riding what I call bitch right now. He got his son riding bitch. He's stuck between 2 weight classes. We know he was 140, and technically he's at 147, but he's at a catch weight. And from what I understand, even though they try to say that it was all switched around and that T.O. wanted the catch weight and all this, I'm like, I don't know. If it was something he wanted and he was the A side and he was doing some trickery, oh well. Like right now, I'm all for T.O. right now anyway. You know, until he make up his mind and who he wants to be, and get over this whole identity crisis that he's been having that we cooked on a couple months ago. But when I was looking at it, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, the Devin stuff didn't work. Just a week and a half ago, he had this whole hit list, and it was this campaign, and it was T.O., and that's who I want, and it was, you know, well, Ryan, that got dismissed, so they could not, I'm gonna call it clout chase. They could not clout chase the Ryan thing. For one, the momentum was done from Ryan's performance and losing to Rolly, and then although Devin won, he kind of lost some interest in fans wanting to see him again with that style. That's just the truth of the matter. So Ryan was out because he had the hand surgery. Then it came up to T.O. So then they was kicking the ball back and forth, you know, and just going back and forth, right? T.O. finally say, nah, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? He disrespect Turkey. He apologized. People think it's on again, off again. So T.O. ultimately said, nah. They say 11 millions, never rub up against another man's rhubarb. Never really worry about another man's numbers unless, you know, it comes up and it's something in the conversation that we really need to worry about. We hope they all get paid. Even T.O. with his stinky ass. We want them all to get paid. They have a very hazardous occupation. They entertained us. You know, all of that. You know, we want them to get paid. We want them to stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? We want them to have long careers. We want them to have all their faculties when they get done. That applies to them all, even if you're not my favorite. But when I fast forward and I look at everything, and I'm sitting here and I'm scratching my head, I'm like, okay, so you got a list. And it wasn't for me to do a video, because when I do a video, all I hear is, oh, you're hating. Because I'm speaking the truth when it comes down to Devin Haney, since everybody wants to shove him down everybody's throat. So I said, I'm not going to do a video about this. I'm not going to do a video about how it's kind of odd that, okay, 2 names are off the list. You had 10 people on the list. And why, if T.O. was going out to Boots and Boots was trying to figure out whether or not he can perform or not perform or whatever was going on, why wasn't Boots next? Well, Eddie came out and eliminated. He keeps harping on the fact that Boots might be moving up. But I had been said that, okay, if you got ranked number 1, you got ranked number 1 for no reason at all, in my opinion. I don't even think it was warranted. Because as the number 1, you should be wanting to go fight King Kong in the division and establish yourself. Because everybody, you campaign and you say, oh, I'm getting Regis and he's this and that. And everybody got behind and said, okay, well, Regis. Even myself, I said, okay, he picked Regis. Cool. Although it's a different standard, because everybody looked at Regis at that point in time as the weakest link at 140. Let's just keep it a buck. 10 times 10, all the way 100 about it. But we gave him a mulligan because Regis was a guy. He's one of my guys. I gave him a mulligan because Regis in my boxes to watch. I rock with Regis. We didn't know Devin was going to do that to Regis, and he did what he did. We had been behind him going after T.O. for all this time because they have history. And so we ultimately wanted to see it. I think that boxing is all about timing. And I think that they missed the timing of it. Not saying that it's off, but until the desire to see that is back, I think that it's good that it didn't happen right now. You know, because it's you know, then with Turkey's recent things, talking about the Tom and Jerry fights and, you know, all this stuff. So that's off. So I'm like, okay, go down the list. So magically, when I see and I hear Bill Haney, and then they actually have pom-poms on for Cambosis, it triggers me, because I'm just like, aren't these the same people that be saying like, oh man, don't like support the black man and uplift the black man? And then even when I heard about him and Keyshawn say, oh, I'm not gonna kick the man when he down, I'm like, hold on, man. I noticed something about these young this boxing family. Let me try to church it up. You know what I'm saying? That's really not the word that come to mind. I'm gonna say something about this young back. I noticed that they get real friendly with people who look like they might run them over. Like it's kind of odd. It's like, no, you don't want to kick him when he down, but like that didn't stop you from putting out mug shots of Tank. That didn't stop you. Like all of the things that you said, it didn't stop. So now it's real odd that now Keyshawn getting ready to move up, even though I said I'm not matchmaking for him either. But with the whole weight situation, you not knowing where you going, him said, Keyshawn saying, oh, he would do cruise at a catch weight and all this. And okay, it's clear you're not at 135. It's clear that even though Devin fought at 144, he's not really at 147. He's riding bitch. Stuck in the middle between 140 and 147. But it's odd how they have nothing destructive, they have nothing diminishing to say. They real friendly about that. I'm like, well, you ain't got an opponent. He looking for a fight. You're free, like you DHP, you can do whatever you want. Not the same energy with that. Definitely not the same energy with that. So I'm thinking, what the hell are you at why are you at a Richardson Hitchens? He has a belt. At 40, he has a fight with Cambosis. He's gonna try to cut his teeth and see what he can do up against a guy that your son went 24 rounds with, and you have the pom-poms on for George Cambosis. Just like you had the pom-poms, just like you was telling them T.O. was going through marital problems. You gave him the skinny on T.O. the whole time, and when T.O. lost to Cambosis, y'all celebrated like y'all had pom-poms. And here you are siding with an Australian in New York.
Body, can I come in with that? Because, yo, listen, that's the same shit that I was like, disgusting. The fuck are you doing, Bill? How you siding with how you siding with that guy from another country in New York?
Salute Coquito.
Like, bro, what are you doing, Bill? Why, like you said earlier, why the fuck are you there? Like, explain to us why you're there. Are you trying to make a number 3 fight, a third fight between Kambosos and Dev? Don't nobody want to see that bullshit. Save it. There is no logical reason for you doing what you did except being a fuckboy. And that's why I brought that exactly. And that's why I brought up for me when I was watching that point that I brought up when we was talking about Hitchin, and I was like, that light skin, dark skin bullshit. It just seemed to have all kind of weird ass tones all over what you were doing over there, what Kambosos and his people were saying over there, because they've already been exposed for who they are. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, for me, man, I was disgusted by it. Being a Devin Haney fan, I was disgusted by Bill's actions, and I just said, listen, if Dev ain't trying to make a fight with Hitchens right after this, bro, you might just be on you might just have lost a fan, because I can't really go any further with what you doing.
But to me, it makes no sense. Like, this man has a fight. If you want to do it, then talk to Eddie behind closed doors. You and Eddie y'all got an on again, off again relationship. Eddie had a lot of love, but Eddie saw them as opportunists. He even said something here recently that, like, if you go watch Eddie, go listen to Eddie and how he talks about Devin and them now, and like how he's really like very frank and very honest. But the man has a fight with Kambosos. There's no need for you to be there.
Yeah.
There's no need, and then for you to troll them, for you to take, but these be the same people who be talking about, oh man, the black man and the black man, the biggity black, the bliggity bliggity. It's like, man, like these are the behaviors that I don't understand, to where these are the times when he's throwing rocks and later on he'll be hiding his hands. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. They irk the shit out of me with this, you know, and it's just another thing, because I bet you if he just had a father out there that was like out there and being vocal, I know he wouldn't do that. Like, I know when it come down at him, and when it come, because look, Regis, it was the same way. Regis just had a coach. Hitchens just got a coach. But I guarantee you, if they was going up against the Normans, they wouldn't be doing this. They won't even say Boots. It's like, go find you a dance partner.
Yeah.
Go find a dance partner. Go find, because it don't make no sense to where you jumped up and you getting ready to go to 47. Newsflash, Devin. While everybody wants to, because I know you're gonna, if this goes on, and I gotta say this at the beginning of this show because this is current events. Newsflash: Richardson Hitchens fights with the IBF. That means you have to weigh in for him to put that title on the scale, and then you're gonna be under the IBF. Stop faking jacks. And why did you leave 140? And be at a catchweight, and then this one, the TO stuff was going to be at a, I don't know how that was going to happen with the WBI. I don't know how that was going to work when the title was on the line and it's a 140. But Richard Hitchens is an IBF 140. Like, this is this stealing clout, pilfering clout, getting caught with your hand in the cookie jar, and nobody online when y'all start doing all this. Not you, AC. You, like I said, you the realest Devin Haney fan I know. Even when we disagree, even with the Jen Sasaki and the Brown Norman, we can pick and have our sides and all that, but you're not on that bullshit. These dudes are on this bullshit, and I pointed out all the time, in real time, and everybody be in hindsight. But this is the shit that I be saying that makes them unlikable. This is why, and they want to play the villain role all the time, but I always say a villain without no weapons is just a fucking victim. So watch. This is a glorified clout chest. I don't know why they won't let Richardson Hitchens have his shine. I don't know why they're siding with Kambosos. Once again, they're allied with somebody else, but then want to play this fake ass on code. That's why I be trying to talk about this right here. This was the epitome of this right here. And I'm gonna get off of it so we can get into this thing. But I had to get this out in the beginning. But this is the epitome of what I'm saying. This is the epitome of what I be saying when they be talking about that on code shit. Where's the on code activity right now?
Yeah.
And why you can't go get another dance partner? There's plenty of fish out there in the sea with you being DHP. You having your own thing. You can do this. You can do that. You got all this stuff. Like, all this, you all powerful, you all omniscient, you all knowing. You know, I'm like, go, where's the on code activity at? It's nowhere to be found, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing about it.
Yeah, like where's the on code activity to back Richard Hitchens? You feel what I'm saying? From the weird ass attacks that was going on, trying to insult his intelligence and all of this other stuff. I was like, Cambosis, bro, bro, if you grew up over here, you and your daddy would not be alive in 2025. Cause y'all like, shut the fuck up, man. For real.
And this is the proof in the pudding, AC. This is what I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna let it go unless you got something else out there. This I'm gonna tell you the proof in the pudding. Just like he was cheering for Cambosis, and they was like, "Oh yes," like they celebrate. Like you would think, like when they be showing the Super Bowl and they be showing fans, and when the winning field goal and they span off, or when they be at the draft, that's how he was celebrating. You know why? Because at that point in time, he didn't want to fight no fucking T.O. So I'm like, it makes no sense for you to be at a Richard Hitchens fight going for Cambosis when you already washed him 24 rounds down there. Yeah, so you what? So what? You want him to beat Richards and Hitchens so he can get the IBF, and then what? You fight him again? Because really, if you really want a Hitchens fight, you'd be like, you'll be big up in Hitchens, not wanting him to lose, wanting him to win, so you can get somebody that some uncharted territory and get some more glory and take and swipe somebody's O. That's why I say it's bullshit what they doing.
Exactly, because that's why I said to you, you need to make that fight ASAP. Because at the end of the day, what you wind up doing is taking his O, knocking off a young threat, knocking off the guy that most boxing fans say is a better version of you. So if you beat the better version of you, then that destroys all of those talking points. So if you were going to be there, your support should have been for Hitchens. Like, yes, we want Hitchens to win because that's the guy we got our eye on. That's the guy we got our eye on. If the social media is running around saying that he's a better version than my son, then I want to be here. I want to support him. I want to, and we gonna try to make this fight. And as soon as all of this is done, I'm gonna have a sit down and I'm gonna call Eddie, and we could see if we can make this fight happen. No fucking body in boxing would have an issue with that. Nobody in fucking boxing, in my opinion, in just my head and maybe my opinion, feel like nobody would have an issue with Devin Haney versus Richard Hitchens. The tale of two cities. They both have the same fighting style. They Hitchens, you know, the way Eddie Hearn was talking about him, is an elite boxer. You will never, like Eddie Hearn said, and I love that, the fact that what he said about him. He said, you can never beat Richard Hitchens if you're going in there to have a boxing match. Even the other dude said it. I forgot the other boxer dude that was there. He said it. He was like, you're not going to beat that dude in a boxing match. The guys who made Hitchens question his ability is because they made it a fight, but as soon as they went back to a boxing match, they got dominated. So I'm like, Devin, there you go. There you go right there. Hey, Keyshawn, you too, right there. If both you dudes is the baddest motherfuckers, then there's a guy right there. He's from my part. He's from my part of the country.
I'm saying? And I know, and see, the thing is, man, I'll be connecting dots. It's like, because you wanted to bring Brian Norman in for sparring and be friendly with him. You friendly with Bud. You friendly with Boots. Oh, man, Boots and Bozy. But, like, this dude, he ain't got no father. You was nasty. Like, Regis, his father wasn't out there. You nasty. It's just like, I be seeing this shit, and I don't understand it. And that's why I'll be like, man, I don't be wanting to talk about the dude. And it, to me, is my favorite word lately with this whole situation is that it's just disgusting, man. So I'm gonna leave it, and I'm gonna leave it.
That's the word of the day. Every time you hear the word disgusting, take a pull or take a sip, whatever you want to do, for real. But that's today's word.
These people, they make you not like them. And salute Easily Baked, salute Cokie. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into the program, man, because this is what we really here for. That was just a little There's a little stake in the ground on that conversation, and another reason why is just like, what's there to like about that? So I just wanted to have that on wax in real time, you know, before everybody twist it and make cloud out of it and monetize off of it. But this is the question, man. We got Jahi Tucker, and we have Lorenzo Truck Simpson coming up. We also have Oshaquie Foster taking on Stephen COOLBOY Fulton.
Ooh.
And I'm like, we're at a crossroads, and I'm wondering, see, out of these guys, we got some big guys, like some kind of big guys. I'm gonna say kind of big, and then we got some kind of little guys, like, you know what I'm saying, the biggest of the little guys, pretty much. And we got, you know, the smallest of the big guys, pretty much. But I wanted to get into some background about these guys and who you think has the most potential to kind of cross over if they get a victory and show a dominant performance, because these are some evenly matched. These are some things. These are along the lines of like when we seen David Morrell and David Benavidez fight, and when we got the Diego Pacheco and the So Cold fight, and I'm like, this is along the lines of like, ooh, I didn't really see them putting this on like that.
Yeah,
like,
bro, that's why I'm
So talk about it. What you think? What's your first take on this?
What the fuck am I looking at? This shit got me having goosebumps right now. Like, nah, this ain't real, bro. You bullshit. These dudes ain't about to mix it up. Because you get everybody in this era that wants to clout chase, but I can tell you this. If these fights are anywhere near as rock'em sock'em or just entertaining as that Eubanks versus Conor Benn fight, the winner and loser it's a win-win situation for the winner and the loser. You feel what I'm saying? The Truck Simpson and Jahi fight, woo! That one could be real fireworks. You feel what I'm saying? The Stephen Fulton versus Oshaquie might be a little bit slower, but expected to be far more technical. You feel what I'm saying? So for the boxing purists, those who are, you know, are heavy Hitchens fans, heavy Devin Haney fans, heavy Shakur Steven fans, this fight is made for you guys. You feel what I'm saying? This fight is made for the guy who wants to see the sweet science, and I ain't got no problem with it. I don't have no problem with it. Woo, god damn. I mean, for me, the Stephen Fulton and Oshaquie fight, that's a fight right there. To whereas both of them are reestablishing themselves. Like LL said, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. You feel what I'm saying? It's like one of them type of things. So, yeah, I gotta soak that in a little bit more, man. I gotta soak that in. I feel like I'm on the urge of stammering because I'm just like, nah, they not about to mix it up. But I'll let Pop rock in, man.
What's up, Pop?
What's good? Oh, okay.
Well,
what's your take on it, Body?
Well, you know, it's very, very interesting because, you know, with Lorenzo Truck Simpson, with him being from the Baltimore area, I got love and I want to see him succeed. But again, I'm a boxing purist, and I know that it kind of messed me up when I seen him over there with the Haneys. I'm not gonna lie, I seen him. He was with the Haneys for a period of time, and I didn't know what was going on, and I couldn't ask them guys over at the Rise too much because they were kind of playing it close to the vest. And I told y'all, like, when you a Tank fan and you say something and they don't question, it's like these other guys, like when you talk to the dudes from Philly, how they get. And I was like, so I just removed myself from that because, especially since I'm out here, it'll make it infer that you're trying to create something that might not even be there. I just never understood why Truck was affiliated with Devin at any. I'm like, because that was like Tank's little bro for real. Like it's video out there when Truck was little and Tank was big. Like that's how young he was. Like that was little bro for real. But he came out. I was enamored by him because they, you know, the way everybody talk about him and how he was and this and that. And I'm like, okay, he nice. You know what I'm saying? And he had power, and they were just basically saying he was a bigger Tank and this and that. I'm like, well, maybe, you know, that's one of those things where you shouldn't do that because they got to establish their own. He's not Tank, he's Truck. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of fell into that. And then as of late, in that, he was inactive. I seen him with a cast on. I mean, I think he went through some things. I never got the backstory as to how he got, you know, messed up. But he's been inactive. I seen him like underwhelm in the last couple fights. And I've always been high on Jahi because some of the times it's not, I don't have to know everything about you, but the things that I know, if they cater towards the things that I like about the sport, then it'll keep my attention on you. And one of the things with Jahi was he came in, I remember when he was a smaller guy, moved a lot, he was a high volume puncher, all these angles, like had happy feet in and out, you know, all over. But then I slowly seen him when he had that growth spurt, he went ahead and moved up to where he was supposed to be. He had the heart of a lion. He was taking on all comers, and it was almost like they had to back him down and say, "Oh no, hold on, now you can't. Come on, like hold on, let's develop a little bit." He kind of, I think that's where they got, because when I last time I seen him, I was kind of mad at Tim because when Tim was actually commentating on Jahi, he was trying to make it about all the technical stuff, and I'm like, every boxer not gonna be like that. And I said when we had a live, when we was over there at the smoke session, I said, man, imagine if Tim Bradley had to call an Emmanuel Augustus fight. And that shit caught fire because I heard Ness from the Boxing Voice say it. He's like, oh man, he's this modern. I'm like, y'all niggas be listening, man.
Yeah.
Like hit a nigga Cash App or something, because that's what I said. It's on wax over there at your channel. After that, everybody ran with that shit. And I was like, man, sometimes we don't want to hear all that technical. That's not the kind of fighter he is. But I like Jahi's heart. You know what I'm saying? I like how genuine he is. And surprisingly, even though I got love for Truck, and you know, because I seen Malik Hawkins out here. I ran into him in the gas station. I didn't say nothing. I just saw him and I was just like, damn, man, all I could think about was watching them fight and then saying, what the hell? In my mind, I'm like, what the fuck you doing out here? So I would hate for Truck to be out here. You know, it's very rough out here and to be out here, but I'm leaning towards Jahi. He's been more active. I've grown to kind of like his consistency. I like the traits. I like how him and his father be calling out them instructions in real time. Jahi responds. And I see a lot of potential in Jahi. It's a couple little things. I'm not saying he's flawless. You know, there is some flies in the ointment, a few, you know, technical things. Even though I don't judge his fights from a technical base. I just think that once he make these couple small adjustments, settle down a little bit. I've been saying just settle down a little bit, slow down a little bit. That's one.
Yeah.
I think he has a very bright future. So in that fight, I'm kind of leaning towards Jahi, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think for me, recency bias, a couple of performances like you brought up, a couple of underwhelming performances. I was like, why the fuck people big on this Truck dude? I mean, I see he could have potential, but I'm not sure. You might be one good fight away from a good boxer puncher making you put your hands in your pocket. You feel what I'm saying? And for me, Jahi has that potential to actually do that to him. But I'm always the person to say, you know what? I know I feel this way, but this is a big test. I'm glad you took it. So I'll wipe away my previous biases to give you a fair shake, because I appreciate what you're doing right here, right now. You feel what I'm saying? And in that situation, I still lean towards. I'm still leaning towards Jahi. I'm leaning towards Jahi to have an impressive performance, but I'm also looking for those moments where, Truck is going to shine. I believe he's going to have his moments because, when me and you talked backstage before, or just in general before, we both came to the conclusion, and you actually brought it up, that Jahi may need that finishing move because he doesn't have the finishing move, and sometimes he may take the middle rounds off. If Truck is aware of that, that's your time to shine.
Yeah,
you can capture those middle rounds.
See, but the thing
this
is,
gonna be personal. This one's gonna be personal though.
And the thing is, Truck is the same way. The last couple of performances, I'm like, man, you doing the rinse, wash, and repeat. It's like, where's your adjustment for where you turn up? Because if they were comparing, because all of the out the gate they were saying, oh man, this is like he's just a big version of Tank. He's just a big version. I kept hearing that over and over and over. So like, where's your adjustment and then your turn up on it? But I seen Truck kind of doing the same thing. And then relying on the judges. Like Tank ain't really gonna try to do that. And for this dude to be a bigger dude with some power, now Truck got some power. I question whether or not a lot of these times he just been having fat camps and not really been in shape coming in. That's what I kind of reason in my heart of hearts. But the thing is with this, like Pop saying, since it's personal, and even though Truck hasn't been as active as everybody wanted it, this is one of them fights where they're gonna be up for each other. So we're gonna see, because it's different when, I mean, it's like with Jahi. It's like, yeah, he be taking the fights because it's keeping him active, but now he got somebody that he can really be up for. You know what I'm saying? Truck, he got somebody he can really be up for, because a long time ago, Ammo Williams and Truck was on a crash collision before either one of them had losses. They had they was on wax, going back and forth with each other and talking smack and saying, yeah, it's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that, just like I thought Fabio Worley and Jared Anderson was gonna be on the crash collision at some point, but they actually, Ammo and Truck was actually going at it. I said, okay, that's gonna be a good strap, and that's before either one of them took losses. So this is one of them cases where they're gonna be up for it, and since it's personal, this fight gonna get hot and heavy, man.
Yeah, I think once we start to really get close to like the press conferences and stare downs and shit like that, you may kind of get a good reading on energy, and that both of them are up for it, and it should be a heavy amount of shit talking. When you just said the thing about the weight, that was something I noticed, but I'd never like really locked in on it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, you got the power, but you kind of look like you were struggling for weight, the way you rehydrated and the way your body looks. You feel what I'm saying? I want to see Truck come in a little bit more square and more lean. That'll let me know you in a proper camp. Like, if I had the perfect way that I tell fighters how you should look, around about how you should look when you going into a fight, is as of late, when you go back and you look at Tank's last 5 fights, just look how he looked when he came in. He was always around 133 and some change, and that gave him plenty enough room to rehydrate to where he's locked in. And for me, if you're that power type puncher, then that's the kind of body type I'm looking for. I know you have your own individual body, but just kind of like the dimensions, the shape, the lines, if that all that kind of stuff makes sense, that's what I kind of look for when I'm looking at power punchers when they going in. I don't want to see a lot of muscle. I don't want to see wide backs and mad big arms and triceps, because that tells me it's going to be a lactic acid factory by the 7th, 8th round.
He can come in looking like Jon Stewart from the goddamn DC animated just to be. Jahi just a better boxer. He gonna beat his ass.
No, I'm
Okay,
saying that.
he come in fat camp. He can come in. He can go run with Bud Crawford to get his shit. He give a fuck. Jahi gonna beat his ass.
Well, the other thing is this. Part of it might be by design as far as the fat camp, because he's in light heavy. He was in light heavy. He was all the way up to 180. He fought at 181 back in February. He fought at 181. His opponent was 177. Before then, 167. So he was basically coming in at 168. So he was coming in at light heavy and then before that, 168. His last fight was 8/25/2023 when he was 159 in a quarter.
Oh, hell
So he
no.
ain't fought down below 160 since August of 2023.
Nah, he gonna get Jahi gonna work him deep waters and drown.
He got some power though, and I know this is a name, and I know Truck knows. I mean, because with 2 losses, he's past the whole, I got something to lose. He don't. I mean, he do got something to lose as far as reputation. He's 15-2 with 9 knockouts. So he got a little thumpy thump, 60% knockout ratio.
What's Jahi record? I forgot his record.
Jahi is 14-1 with 6 knockouts. So he's at a 42% knockout ratio.
I think he's gonna get Truck frustrated and tired.
Way more active, man.
Yeah.
He's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He done had 6 fights
Since Truck fought.
Well, no, since that time when he fought at 160. Since that time, since August.
He had 6 fights since his first 160 fight.
I'm saying Jahi has had 6 fights since that last time when Truck was at 160.
Oh,
Since
okay.
then, Truck has only had three fights, the latest being in February with some gaps in there. So as far as activity and all that, Jahi got the edge in that. I would say as far as opponents, opponent wise, yeah, the records of these guys are looking way better, because back in February, Truck fought a dude that was 2-5. I mean, I guess that was to knock the cobwebs off, but
yeah, he was coming off a loss at 67, then moved up in weight, fought the guy 2-5 in a 6-round fight. That's crazy.
Jahi gonna beat the shit out of this dude.
But he took him out. You know what I'm saying? He took him out. He took him out in the first round. He got some power now. I mean, he is one of them guys that's gonna pull the trigger. But it's once them first 3-4 rounds get out and they just standing around posing and doing the rinse, wash, repeat thing, that's when somebody gonna have to make an adjustment and step on somebody.
Yeah,
I think Jahi got it. I don't think Truck got it. He ain't had time to work on it to see what he's supposed to do with it. I mean, you can all the sparring you want, bro, but that's like running free. That's like running like Saturday morning gym, nigga. That ain't the real thing. It's not, with all the lights and the bells and the whistles and the crowd and all of that. And Jahi's a medium thing over there right now.
yeah. The way it's looking, it's a good fight. It would be, in my opinion, if Truck wins, that would be the upset. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think Jahi has the bigger name for way better competition, and it's just more. I'm gonna say Jahi. If Jahi could come out, I don't know how to say it, but Jahi just needs that situation to whereas a spotlight is on him again for the right reasons. You feel what I'm saying? So when you take in 14, 1-1, to some people, the 1-1 is the same thing as, you know,
Two
two
losses.
losses. You feel what I'm saying? So height wise, reach wise, they both got the same reach. One, Jahi is supposed to be a little bit taller. Let's see. But I think Jahi is just gonna once you get past the first 4 rounds, if this dude Truck ain't making no statement, then Jahi is just gonna run away with this fight. I don't know if he's gonna want to get rounds in, but if a knockout shows, I mean, he would get a TKO. I would gather. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a round deficit. Jahi got in 91 rounds. This Truck got in 65 rounds. This is gonna be Truck's first 10-rounder. This gonna be Jahi's second, but Jahi been fighting nothing but 8s, and Truck been fighting mostly 6s, and with a couple of 8s. A lot of 4s, 6s, mainly 6s, a couple 8s. Yeah, this is interesting, man. I know that Willie, they know that this, speaking of crossroads and crossing over, this is like a crossroads fight, because I think to some extent, I think Top Rank want to know, you know, I think they know who Jahi is. I think they want to see that. They want to see that signature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If he can put Truck on his back pockets, if he could, and Truck do go to the body now. I do know that. He do that body work, but if he can put Truck on his back pockets, if he can get this could be a signature win because of the camp and the affiliation. And you know, I know Coach Kenny gonna come with the game plan, and they saying we gonna step on this kid and all that, but I gotta remove my biasness aside from that, because I'm keeping this down the middle as far as me judging what I see. They thinking they're gonna go in there and just step on Jahi. And you know, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's just gonna be able to go in there and just step on Jahi. Jahi got a high motor. And he's been getting in the rounds. He's been on the job. He's been doing this on the job training, and this is a name. I think Jahi gonna be up for it. And the little bit of deficits that he do have, the little deficiencies he do have, you know, hopefully he's gonna tighten up.
Yeah, this is a tough fight for both the young guys, man, because it's the type of thing where when you really, really look at it, it's like the promotional companies are saying, all right, we know you two guys are dynamite. We know you're a dynamite guy. You're a dynamite fighter. But we have to see, because it's gonna depend on how you're placed and how we can move you moving forward. You got one loss, you got one draw. You know, it'll be hard to sell that right now in big fights, because no matter who you look at, a person would say you're the B-side to that guy if it's a big name at the division. So yeah, you know, you need this, and hopefully after this, maybe, you know, Jahi could hopefully Jahi could get in there with an ammo, you know, get that fight going, and some other things, you know, because ammo's just a big old swole dude, and I think, you know, stylistically, he's exactly the name, size, stature, and everything else that Jahi would need after this victory to start to say, yeah, you know, you're there. Yeah, common opponent is he fought Hamza. You never fought Hamza, but both y'all got a victory over Ammo, and then Ammo will be facing the same type of situations where he's got to show up and show out. So I think there's plenty of room for these guys. it's 160.
Wide
It's like
open.
the heavyweights, bro. You could probably get 3 losses and still get a title shot.
And the middleweight division is wide the fuck open.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm saying, it's like the heavyweights, because I think even if with 3 losses, if you constantly coming back and showing, and the 3 losses are considered tough fights, I think the general public will still say, yeah, that's a good championship fight. The goofies out there will be like, nah, he got 3 losses, he ain't shit. I don't give a fuck who he lost to. You know, nonsensical shit.
I don't care about a bum ass. Them niggas can't even talk to me in the comment. Boy, I be having them flustered like a motherfucker. Or once I see that they get flustered in the first 2-3 comments, I'm like, I turn into 600. Oh, you a buster. You a buster. You a buster. Word.
Well, let's change gears. Let's change gears a little bit, man, and let's talk about the smaller guys, the biggest of the little guys, man. And
I got COOLBOY Steph before Oshaquie crossover. I'm sorry, I got COOLBOY before any other crossover.
You got him beating Oshaquie?
I mean, if they fight, or if we talking about just crossing over into that next wave, well, being known, I got COOLBOY. He's ahead of everybody.
Yeah, he went viral for his outfit.
That right there, like certain things. I mean, you can coming back off the loss from anyway, winning the belt, but bro, the Timberland boxing shoes, ain't nobody fucking with you this year. You got it. You got it. Come on, man. He had the Timberland, like niggas really thought he had real Timbs on. Niggas like, yo, niggas out there fighting in Timbs, like, nah, he just had them shits designed perfectly to look like it. Nah, them was Timbs, yo, you can see that they the butters. All right, if you say so, nigga. Nigga out there whooping ass in construction boots, whatever you say, my nigga. He got it. My homeboy was like, yo, he's like, yo, one of my little young niggas that, cause he's a manager at a warehouse. He's like, one of the young niggas showed me this shit. He was like, yo, this nigga fighting in the 10 boots. That nigga hit me instantly, like, yo, who fighting in the 10 boots? Instantly, like, he don't even, and like he ain't been on boxing since Floyd Mayweather retired. He was like, who the nigga in the Timberland boots?
Yeah, he got the picture of them shits on his X page.
That shit mean a lot, man. He can fight. He got a great resume, but the outfit make it like, and then the 10 boots.
But hold on, so Oshaquie didn't get any movement because of the 2 fights that he had with Conceição?
That's great. But that shit ain't nothing like them damn Timberland boots, bro. I'm telling you. Just
Bro,
for the culture.
I got a curveball for you though, because Caleb Plant came out looking fresh to death and got his ass resented. You know what I'm saying?
He got whipped. That's what I'm saying. You can't come out fresh and not leave with the prom queen or at least a bad bitch. You come out fresh to death and leave with the old bitch. That ain't working.
Like Pop said, Dev came out in the UGG suit and got fucked up.
But I'm leaning towards that. I'm kind of, if I had to put some money down, man, I'm kind of leaning towards Shock on this one.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm leaning that. I'm somewhat in the middle, but I'm leaning a little more towards Shaq in this one. I like Stephen Fulton's energy. Again, this might be one of those things that I might just change my mind and think. The only part that has me a little bit hesitant is I didn't like Oshaquie's performance in the first Conceição fight. I didn't like the look on his face. I I felt he could have fought more of the fight on his front foot. You feel what I'm saying? Because when he did let his hands go, he got Conceição to back up. You feel what I'm saying? When he let his hands go, more throwing more than a 1-2 or some shit like that. But Fulton, if he's where I think he is, he's coming to fight. This is going to be a good fight for him. This is going to be the type of fight that I think he wants as part of his comeback, and I think he's going to be ready to get up in the morning every day for training camp for this type of fight and shit like that. So yeah, we'll see, because they had they spats and arguments and shit like that on.
Hold on.
Twitter.
Are they fighting? Or do they have a fight lined up?
Yeah, they supposed to be on the they supposed to be fighting on that tank undercard.
Hold on. Ain't Oshaquie's at what?
130.
And Stephen Fulton's going up?
Yeah.
Okay.
But see this. Let me give my take on this. Let me lay out some foundation.
I didn't know they was fighting. Okay.
Let me lay out some foundation. Oshaquie he got his eyes on Shakur. Right? Raymond Ford want Oshaquie, but Oshaquie want Shakur. So he's thinking, man, I gotta step on this guy to get who I really want. And also, I tend to it's a fight that I want y'all to go back and watch. It took place in Dubai, and it was when he fought Yakubov. Yakubov was 18-0. He was 18-0, and that's when I saw Oshaquie basically fight aggressive. Like, I like the aggressive Oshaquie. I like Oshaquie when he's putting pressure and being aggressive. But the thing is with Oshaquie is he's a cardiac kid. It's like Oshaquie kind of thrive when the pressure is up. Like that fourth quarter, he'll be a guy that you want to get a ball to late in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the rock to Oshaquie, because when that pressure is on, that's when he like, oh shit, I'm behind. He's that kind of person. So with this, he's gonna be up knowing that probably if it go to the cards or something like that, they probably gonna have COOLBOY, because he got more of the legacy on him. He has the 10. He shared the ring with the bigger names, even though Oshaquie got some names, but he's, Fulton is a consummate professional. He done whacked so many champions, and his pedigree would be perceived as a little bit better. I just think that Oshaquie, I think his defense is a little bit better. I think his chin is a little more sturdy, and when he's aggressive, he can if he apply pressure and let his hands go, he can stop you, and he definitely can drop you. But he can come on late and knock you out in the last round. He can stop you in round 12. So I kind of question sometimes how COOLBOY chin is, even though his punch resistance is going to be a little bit better because he's moving up. I think he's a naturally bigger guy. I think he's been having a lot of fat camps because he shouldn't have been down there. Yeah. I think he should have probably been up around 30, 35. It's just that he's not the biggest guy in the world either. So, it's closer to the middle. I'm not just saying Oshaquie gonna wash him, but if I had to put money down, I'm leaning towards Oshaquie, but Fulton, if he fight impeccable like he did that last fight, if he fight like that where he picks when he wants to fight, he dictate the pace, he goes to the body, he gets out of there, he stays off the ropes. If he's like that and he's doing all those things at that high level, he could definitely win the fight if he do that. If Oshaquie want to play the defensive, I'm just gonna box your head off game. But I think Oshaquie had a taste of, they don't like when I just box. Even though I put on a clinic, I was like the Teflon Don. I did the same thing that Shakur did, but I didn't get the nod. I think he learned his lesson from that, so I think he's gonna be more aggressive. And he wants to get to Shakur. This is a stepping stone, so he's gonna try to do something to Stephen Fulton. But that's my take.
It's hearing what you two guys saying, just to piggyback off of what you're saying. for me, one of the keys to victory for Stephen Fulton is keeping Oshaquie on the back foot, because then you're gonna get in his head to whereas for me, he's gonna start to be like, am I fighting like the way I fought Conceição? I gotta move. I gotta have this pressure. I gotta back Fulton up. And if Fulton keeps having Oshaquie kind of reset and stay on his back foot, he could easily walk away. He could, in my opinion, I think he could easily walk away with that victory, because it may do something to Oshaquie's psyche, to where he may go through a little PSD because of that Conceição performance. Now, for me, if he fights aggressive on that front foot against Stephen Fulton, this would be a huge victory, in my opinion, for both of them. You feel what I'm saying? Because, okay, Stephen Fulton knocks off Oshaquie Foster. You feel what I'm saying? As his first fight at 130, I think he's going to hang around there a little bit and knock off some of those other guys. I think he'll definitely want to knock off Navarrete to become unified and shit like that. And possibly at 130, he may be the guy that becomes undisputed at 130. You feel what I'm saying? He has the name, he has the talent, he has the resume for it. For Oshaquie, if he go ahead and beat Stephen Fulton, you're, in my opinion, one step closer besides moving up to getting that Shakur fight. Because now when you start to call out Shakur, it's going to make a little bit more sense to those fans to be like, yeah, but you coming from 130. Yeah, but he just knocked off Stephen Fulton. Their counter thing is, well, Stephen Fulton just came up from 126. Regardless, you feel what I'm saying? He came up, he wanted that fight, he got that fight, he lost that fight. Oshaquie's doing what he has to do to secure the Shakur fight. So I think if he gets that victory and does his thing with it, hey, he's gonna start to, and call Shakur out afterwards. He's gonna start to generate that buzz right there. Of course, you know who's gonna come in. You feel what I'm saying, and try to throw his name in the hat, Raymond Ford, but Oshaquie will be like, fuck out of here.
I don't know, man. This is I didn't know they was actually fighting each other. I don't know, man. Like, this is gonna be I don't know, because it's a boxer versus a boxer. We ain't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
At a smaller weight class, like especially like two black fighters, like two slick black fighters fighting each other. I ain't seen that in a minute.
And speaking of Ray Ford, he getting ready to fight Kakasi, which is a dangerous fight. I kind of like Kakasi, man. Kakasi was the one who stopped Joe Cordina. So he gonna be turned up, man, because Ray Ford can't fall asleep. I'm ready for the Savage to be a Savage again, man. I ain't seen the Savage in a while. You know, the fight I saw, he was on the undercard of that Boots fight, and I was just like, man, like, when is this shit gonna be over? Like, make your adjustment and step on this fool. But the dude was not letting his hands go. I'm like, I guess he had respectable power, but Savage did not turn it on, because then he said he didn't want to make a mistake, and I'm like, man, that's caution. Like, yeah, you boxed your way to victory, but this dude Kakasi, he actually can scrap, man. He actually can scrap. He gonna try to get Ray out of there, man. I mean, that's and that might be what Ray need, man. But it's gonna be different than Nick Ball. This dude actually got some skills. He's a boxer puncher. It's not just all pressure, but he got some thump to him, man. That's gonna be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
So when you fight somebody that motherfuckers be telling you you shouldn't fight because he does everything that you don't like, and you take that fight, you got to prove it. You got to prove it.
So let me ask y'all this question: Who would be the upset?
I think from this thumbnail, I think most people are going to say the two guys on the right are going to beat the two guys on the left. I'm saying the two guys on the left are going to beat the two guys on the right. You know, I think the upset would be if the two guys. I'm thinking that the popular opinion is going to say if the two guys on the left win, it's going to be the upset, just because of the affiliation and how it is. Because even though Truck been missing in action because of his affiliation with GTD in that camp, I think that they thinking he the favorite, and like in a way, and a lot of people will be listening to Coach Kenny, and he be on Mill City, and they be, you know, so I think a lot of people gonna run with that, and a lot of people rock with COOLBOY because of his affiliation with Boots and them. I'm trying to look at it skill for skill. Salute his twin.
Yeah, salute.
I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to look at it like skill wise, activity, like all the factors involved and all that. So that's what I'm going by. I'm not going by popular opinion.
I got it 50-50 between Oshaquie and Fulton, and it's a upset and Truck beat Jahi. Fuck out of here. You know,
Yeah,
go on, fuck with the little, you know what I'm saying, little penguin nigga. I'm still fresh, still fuck with Team Tucker.
yeah. That's how that's what I said earlier. I was like, I think Truck would be the upset in the Jahi situation. For Oshaquie and Fulton, I can't say. I don't.
I put it like this: ask Marky. Because you know Marky is the type. You hear how Marky be talking about Jahi. Who is this Jahi? Like you talk about the same Jahi. Like it's a lot of people that have that opinion. I'm like, man, y'all don't be watching Jahi, man. It's like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't think a lot of people view Jahi the way we do. And that's just. I mean, they got to see more of him when he was on the Boxing Voice because he showed a lot of his personality, and he got the kind of personality, if you sit and listen to him, like, you're gonna like the dude. He's likable. Truck is likable too. Truck cool as hell. He like the preppy. He got the preppy thing going on. Baltimore boy, like athlete. You know, been fighting all his life. You know, so they both likable people. You know, I'm just looking at it from inside the ring, being active, and the progression I've seen in Jahi and the obstacles that he had to come through. Because I think naturally, Truck was a bigger dude. Jahi had to grow into it, and he grabbed the bull by the horns, did he? And jumped up to where he should be. Yeah. You know, and went through the ringer because they're not tossing. It's almost like I kind of see Top Rank kind of doing what they did with Brian Norman until Brian Norman made a statement. Like that's kind of like what I'm thinking. Like it's like, yeah, they rock with him. He got a contract. But it's like they're not really doing anything favorable for him. I don't think.
Yeah, he beat somebody he wasn't supposed to. And then that put him in position to get a belt. So now they kind of like stuck with him. Which like Jahi ain't never, every time Jahi fought somebody, it's like never been like no bum ass nigga, so we can just get him a pot of there like that. He ain't had one of them fights in like 3-4 years.
I want Jahi to start sitting down just a little bit more, man. I want him to sit down and turn over his punches. Like if that's what I'm talking about as far as the technical thing that I see. If he slow down a little bit, sit down, and then work on this technical, like turn his punches over, not the slapping joints and all that, because he got reflexes like a cat. Like his head movement is wicked. Like he got combinations and awkward angles to where he catch people off guard. It's just the technique and the punches. Like if he sit down on that shit, clean up his technique, he'll be getting people out of there. But I think this is why I say this is so interesting for me. Both of these guys tend to fall asleep in the middle rounds, man. Like they just get in this thing to where it's like, all right, I'm gonna go this round. All right, well, or either I'm taking a break. I don't know if you're taking a break because Jahi sound like he got a high motor. But they go through this thing because Regis do the same thing. He go through this thing where after like round 4, 5, 6, it's like the same thing. It's like where's the adjustment and then the commitment that all right, I'm about to sit down on this shit. I'm gonna take a little risk here, a little risk there, and really punish this nigga. You know what I'm saying?
That one time I spoke to Joe by himself, it was just me and him. It's basically that he just, at the time, this was a few years ago too. He hard headed. He was hard headed. He wasn't listening. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to that too, sometimes I be thinking maybe them niggas' hands hurt.
Maybe.
That's what I be like when why you slapping them and not turning that punch over right there? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he don't want to. I don't know, but I know. You know what I'm saying? Joe was like, if he hit him like he's supposed to hit him, like he had way more knockouts, but sometimes he just don't know. So, but since last couple of fights, Jahi been doing niggas dirty. I don't know. Maybe he found that his lane is if I get him up out of there, I get him up out of there. But I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
You need to go back to the body because he head hunt too. You gotta go to that body, man. Like it's a couple things the way he could make his work a lot easier, man. Put it like that. If he just tighten up, and I think that's what Top Rank want to see, man. That's why I keep saying before every fight I say, listen, man. If he just buckle down and just get the dude out of there, like no at all cost, like do not let this shit go to distance because you gotta think. That's the only reason why Berlanga got all of that praise. He was just getting like the guys, the lower the guys, whether they was on his level or not, he was getting them out of there. I'm telling you that does wonder. That's why it's another reason why Mason, because no matter who it is, even if it's at his level, if it's a minor step up, he getting them out of there. He got a highlight reel. He got, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what they want because that's gonna bring the excitement. Because Jahi be having moments, but they can't be like, yeah, in the fifth, he decided to sit down and it was over in the fifth. They can't ever say that. They be like, he went the distance. Well, when will happen? Well, maybe in round 3 he had the success. It's like, no, define the moment. Go to that body, stop head hunting, don't take no rounds off. And then I don't tell him, next time you tell him, man, tell him sit his ass down in that corner, man. Get his rest. Because Boots be doing the same thing. I'm like, man, sit down and rest yourself, man. Sit down and have a rest when you get a time off. Like, rest your legs, rest your arms, you know what I'm saying? Let them massage your shoulders, put the ice on you. That way you come back out there refreshed. But that's like that gladiator shit that they be doing where they want to stand up. I'm like, if you sat down a couple times, man, shit, you might get that little extra burst to where it's like when you sit down on some shit, you gonna feel it.
Yeah,
but
Ali did it, but he was fighting 15 rounds. So you ain't doing that. So sit your ass down. Outside of that, I just wanted to say, when you're a young fighter and they're matchmaking you, those match-made fights need to be mainly stoppages. So your first 10 fights, it should, even though you're a boxer, it should kind of still read with at least a 60+% stoppage ratio. I'm not gonna say knockout because I don't look for the knockout from boxers. I look for the stoppages, the TKOs or whatever, the technical knockouts. It should be a bunch of them to let them know, listen, you keep putting me in there with guys like that, I am going to beat them to death to where the ref is going to have to stop every last one of those fights. That's where you get that fan-friendly boxing style, because people will say, yeah, he knows how to box, but he knows how to stop a person as well. You feel what I'm saying? When you look at the bulk of Terrence Crawford's stoppages, they're TKOs. They're not one-punch knockouts. If he had a one-punch knockout ratio, it'll probably be some shit like 4, maybe 5%. But the rest of them shits are all TKOs. So for you young guys, embrace the TKO. Put fucking hands on these people. You feel what I'm saying? You got the technical ability. Don't forget the body. because when you fighting these guys before you get your step up fights and before you reach 12 fights, these guys are tailor made for you to showcase. Go to the body, go to the head, and get the stoppage. And that's where I'll land at.
Yeah, because I think it sometimes seems like Jahi be trying to get rounds in, man. I'm like, you trying to get rounds in, man? Because it's like he had them flashes where it's like, dang, you see that? Like, man, he be having them dudes hurt. It's just like, step on them now. Like, finish him. You know, but he still got a high ceiling, man. I just know how Top Rank is, man. I know how Top Rank is, and they'll start saying that pink slip shit eventually. But I you know.
Oh, they already, Tim Bradley already said it.
Yeah, so it's like, man, you could change their mind like Brian Norman. Like Brian Norman ain't give him no choice. He took the power into his own hands. And then, you know, on them nights where, because they put him in there with one of them Italian dudes or one of these dudes from another place, like an Asian dude or whatever, and it's like that, man, he could get robbed because of the money and the backing that those other fighters have. So it's like, treat it like, go out there and treat every fight like, you know, they about to cut me. You know what I'm saying? Or I might have to go looking, because he could go down to pro box and thrive, but he can also take advantage of being on ESPN with Top Rank right now and really get people to know him, because, like I said, they liked him on the Boxing Boys. Everybody was like, oh, man, I like this dude because he's, you know, he give off that vibe like, I'm coachable. He's like, yeah, I want to learn. And he takes criticism. He takes it. He's one of the few boxers that would be like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to look at that. All right, yeah, I'm going to work on that. Yeah, we've been working on that. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. You know, I was thinking about this, and yeah, we're going to implement that. So people like that. He's not arrogant at all, but he's real. You know, so he got a bright future, man. I don't know who gonna win these they 50-50 at the end of the day. I just stepped out there and said who I think will win and who I'm leaning towards, but these are competitive fights. These are surprises to me. But let's get into some of the latest news before we get out of here, man. Pop, what was your take on this Bill Haney being at this dude being at the Richardson Hitchens press conference, man?
He seen the interviews from yesterday on Cigar Talk and Akin Barak. You seen the interviews? Did y'all see him?
Nah,
I seen the Akin Barak. I seen the Akin Barak. I didn't see the Cigar
Talk. Okay. The Cigar Talk, he talking shit. He was talking big shit.
About Devin?
He talks big shit about Devin. Big shit about Devin. Said Devin ain't shit. Matter of fact.
But he been saying that. He been saying that for years though. Like when they had him in the dark, it's just funny to me that when tables turn and he don't got no fight now, all of a sudden it's like, man, we don't believe you. You need more people, man.
Oh, he said Lomachenko ain't shit. The Lomachenko resume ain't like that. Who did he beat when it mattered? I was like, damn.
Real talk. There's some points about Loma that I agree with, as far as because he pulled some people up too, man. People be talking that shit about Tank when he pulling up dudes from a weight class below that's actually bigger than him. But Loma done pulled up some little guys.
Carry down.
Huh?
He weighed like the first, like they asked, they was like Loma, it was like, what's the biggest name that Loma beat? And he was like Pedraza. He was like, well, he beat Pedraza after Tank knocked him out.
and he pulled Rickendall. But then what?
Hold on though. Like, I give you that one, right? But he was like, he fought Pedraza after Tank knocked him out. So what does that make Tank? So then he was like Gary Russell Jr. He was like, Gary was drained like a motherfucker. I was like, damn.
He lost 5 pounds that night.
when you say he was like Linares, he was like, man, Linares punch drunk. He's like he punches back for everybody. I was like, damn. So when he said Rigondeaux, that's like the only one that he had. So that's what he was saying. But he was like, every other fight that meant something, he lost. It's only two. That's T.O. and Dev.
Right. And he lost to Salido. So I mean, it's
That
Salido.
shit was crazy. That one did. That was the no low blows on that one was worldly, but like so. I know you've been hearing the talk. You've been hearing, like, if you've been watching and paying attention to the lead up of this fight, Africa been talking buku shit. So Bill got time. He definitely got time. So he pulled up, talk shit just to be like to stay relevant. Like, what else are you doing? Like, Dev ain't got no other fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, unless he's gonna fully commit to 147, you know, he might now after. I mean, there's that rumor that Boots done moved up to 54.
Yeah.
Supposed to be fighting sometime, you know, in the late summer, you know, right before early fall, before, you know, autumn, before it's even fall, autumn. Yeah. So, but ain't nobody else. Everybody else was, you know, he's gonna be at 160 in a year, but people gonna think we crazy. But I ain't gonna say that.
But I mean, but to me, this is the problem. They always run around with this talking this A-side stuff, but it's looking like you a man without a land and without a plan. Because you threw a whole bunch you did the linguini method where you threw a whole bunch of names on the fridge and you want to see what stick, and the T.O. shit didn't stick, the Ryan shit didn't stick. So now you going down the list, you checking it twice, but you the A side, and it's looking like you looking like a limp noodle, man. Like you can't get it up. Like I mean, you the A side. Why you not sending out contract? To me, you looking like you need a handout. And all the names that you should be saying, you want to be friendly with everybody. You know, you want to be friendly, and then you want to be a pom-pom. You want to hold the pom-poms for Cambosis? Like, I don't get it. I think he need to go find some work, you know, and pick a division, because I mean, I don't know why ain't nobody cooking his ass on being 144. You know, why you want to be friends with Keyshawn now? Why you want to bring Norman in for sparring, but you don't ever talk about that smoke? I mean, I don't get it. He's you know, he's in no man's land right now. It confused me, the stuff that Bill do. I don't think they have a plan. I think they're at the mercy of just needing a fight, and right now they clout chasing. I don't agree with it. It kind of pissed me off because they always talk about that on Code and the black man this and the black man that, but you up here trolling Richardson. Richardson talking this shit. He been saying Devin wasn't shit. Devin never gave him the time of day. So I mean, unless that money is like crazy, but this is the thing. You can clout chase Richardson Hitchens, and if he get past this, you gonna go into that negotiation on some old I'm the A-side shit, and like I don't know how much weight that's gonna carry. Yeah, you a name, but like to have him fight you at a catch weight, and you already know he got the IBF. It's rules around that IBF. So I'm like, are you gonna waste everybody's time doing this when there's other work out there? Blair out there at 147, if he ain't nobody, that's a name. See if you can get away with running around doing that. Speedy Rashidi still saying he ain't 54, he 47. He still say, yeah, I just did that for that, but I'm still 147. It's some names, because it's crazy how somebody that's inactive will just come off a loss. That's cool, but there's some viable names out there that they won't say. They won't, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I see through that bullshit.
Yeah, and just to piggyback what you just said, Blair actually pressed him on live to let's fight, and you want to bring up a whole bunch of bullshit, Bill.
Talking about, he said Valentine's Day. Yeah, he said let's do it Valentine's. Like, yeah, that's before Valentine's. He said let's do it Valentine's Day.
And you talking about what he did and all of this other stuff, and it's like
I heard I was talking to somebody and Blair's really pushing for that Rolly fight.
oh, okay.
He's really pushing for that, but we'll see how that goes. But
Okay.
that was just something else I was gonna say. But when it comes to Africa and Devin, that's just like that's probably gonna be like the same type of. All people gonna be lined up to watch two boxers and one in shell shock. So on that note, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up, man, and y'all make sure y'all stay doing your damn body work, man.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Good cook, Bob.
Yeah, man. I get the rest of these brats to bed.
Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
man.
All right.
But I wouldn't mind the Rolly. I wouldn't mind the Rolly and Blair.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that too if that's what it is, because the one thing I could say about Rolly, from what I've seen from him, I haven't seen a situation where he's ducking smoke. So I think Rolly would understand that, you know, he like to talk shit, I like to talk shit. We gonna sell the shit out of this fight. And
Yeah.
Rolly's got a lot of energy behind him right now. After the upset victory, yeah, you take out a Blair Cobb, the motherfucker everybody else is ducking. Ooh, you the people's champ, bro. You're moving into people's champ status.
Yeah, that's a good look. I tend to think PBC got some plans for Rolly, especially with that trinket he got right now, and with the speculation of Boots moving. I think that's leverage. I'd be surprised. I mean, unless they worked out something to where Boots gonna be affiliated with them people after that, because I don't know if they're gonna give up their leverage. Because that's I got Blair possibly beating the shit out of Rolly, man. For real. You know, if he get caught, he can get set down in his back pocket. But Blair's so unorthodox, but he's calculated in his own way, like that. It's like, and he got some thump, man. Blair can pop. He got some pop, man. Blair can crack, man. So, I think it'd be two awkward people, but I think Blair got his shit down to a science, and Rolly is just now coming into his own. Now, Rolly build on the skill set that he had, you know, and I don't know what was up with Ryan. It's kind of weird how Ryan, you know, put his hands in his pockets. But I think Blair is a different dude, and Blair is hungry. Blair knows. I mean, he went, you know, he was in there with Adrian, with AB. You can say what you want, but you know, he's still saying AB can still crack. Like he said, that shit was still, he was still thumping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. So,
But
I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it's an exciting fight for me, and the possibility of it, I would love to just break that shit down and look at the keys to victory type stuff, because I think a disciplined Rolly, if he fights him the same way he did Ryan and keep that phone book up, he could get Blair, you know, even though Blair's gonna come in there with that awkward style, he could give him some hell in some places. And you know, Blair got popped and Rolly got popped. So the thing is gonna be, for me, it's looking at who wins the exchanges. Who's ever go ahead.
See with Rolly, if you fight Rolly like you scared to get hit, Rolly gonna eat.
Yeah.
But Blair take chances. So that's the thing. And see, we know Rolly chin is questionable. If you tap that motherfucker hard enough, he gonna be on stilettos.
That too.
So and Blair takes risks. So you gotta think Blair knows how to. Now he had his Alexis Rocha moment, but Rocha was more of I can't even say he's that technical. I think he was more technical than Blair in the circumstances around that fight. I think if Blair had a full camp and prepared, that fight would have looked a little different. But he's been in there with people that can box. He's been in there with people that had pop. I just think that the difference when you fight Rolly is if you a scaredy cat, Rolly gonna eat. If you take chances, if you can take chances and you could take your licking and keep on ticking, you can get to Rolly, because if you touch his chin first, you know what I'm saying, it's a different ball game. So that's why, that's how I see that going. So it's a good match though.
Yeah, I'd still have Blair beaten Rolly, but I can still kind of see the upset or path to the upset. You feel what I'm saying? And most of that just leads to Blair's camp. He has a great camp, easy night for Blair. You know, your gas tank should be there. You feel what I'm saying? Your awkward movement, your footwork and things like that. Because in the learning process for me and looking at a fighter like Rolly, you know, now that he's trying to become more technical or become more sound in what he's doing or defensively sound, it may give way to a little bit of roboticism, to where that leaves those openings for that awkward style of Blair just to capitalize and punish him. Do you feel what I'm saying? You're talking about a straight line trying to attack a squiggly line. You feel what I'm saying? It's just too many angles, too many dimensions. The straight line is going to get lost. So that's how I feel it. And I still got Blair winning the fight, but I think it'll be a really good, interesting fight as long as Rolly could take a clean shot from Blair. If he can't, it's going to be an early night for Rolly.
And salute Real Malachi Ross Boxing. He say Jahi Tucker up next. I sparred him a year ago. He's a great fighter and he got a gas tank. That's what's up. Salute, man. Thanks for popping through, man. Yeah, man. So you got some work with Jahi. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you coming through, man, and hollering at us. What other news was out here?
The only other news that was kind of had me a little concerned and had me commenting on a lot of things that was covering it was the Turk and this no running bullshit in a Riyadh season and all of that. And I'm like, so the fighter who can't cut off the ring is somehow now the victim? Is that what this is? I mean, for me, I would just ask Showbiz and the Turk, okay, so since you want people just to stand there and punch each other's brains out, what type of health insurance or medical plans or MRI scans are you going to have in the package when you pay these guys to stand there and be rock'em sock'em robots? You feel what I'm saying? It's, you know, footwork is part of boxing. Do you have intelligent feet or not? So intelligent feet knows how to cut off the ring. If you're a little past where you were, or you never was that guy to learn how to cut off the ring, then that's on you. Because in one instance, you want to say, you know, a no running rule and blame the other guy, but you don't blame the guy that doesn't know how to cut off the ring. That shit is crazy.
Well, okay, let me address this, and I got another thing Turkey said. But it's something that they're not going to really be able to enforce it. And what I think this really was it was a subliminal way. It was an outright but subliminal way in telling people that if you choose that fighting style, especially over there, I don't think those judges are going to reward it, because it's not something you can really enforce. It's not something you can really enforce, because if something's going on with somebody and they're evading, it comes to a point where they're just evading. to buy themselves some time. They might be hurt. They might have a poker face on. It's not something you're really going to be able to enforce. Like, you can't, I mean, you can run around saying, now you got to engage, you know, you got to engage. It's like, but you can't make nobody. And then what is it going to look like when you say, I'm taking a point because you didn't engage? Well, how long? Like, there's got to be parameters around it. See, with a clinch, you can visibly see somebody holding. You can say, or, you know, a low blow. You can visibly see somebody, you know what I'm saying, punching somebody in the jewels. This, you can't really enforce it. But what I think it is subliminal to say, hey, look, if that's the kind of, you can fight that kind of style. One, we're not going to sign you up. We're not going to sign you again. We're not going to give you no more money to fight like that. So, you know, you do that and that's it. You're going to cut your water off over here. We're not going to pay you. But I think that it was more of a signal to where it's like, these guys, you're not going to be getting these nods if that's what happened. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get a nod if that's all you do. Like, if all you doing is running around and you just so happen to land more punches than the other guy, I think that the trend that was going on where the pressure fighters started getting the benefit of the doubt, even when somebody was boxing, I think they're going to have more of a benefit of the doubt because they're pressing the action. And that changed. It's been about, I was talking to my old head, it's been about a good 2.5, 3 years when they've been doing that, where they've been leaning more towards the aggressor. Because, like, you got to think about the Conceição and Oshaquie. Oshaquie was Teflon Don. Now, I wouldn't say he was running. He didn't engage that much, but I wouldn't say that he ran in that. He was just being defensively sound. His offensive output wasn't the way it was, but he didn't run.
He slipped, he parried, and he just fought the entire fight on the back foot.
Right. He just used his feet, but he didn't
I didn't see like the lateral movement where you shaking like you're on the football field. I just saw a guy fight on the back foot, slip those punches, and parry off those punches, and parry and turn the guy. He kept on making Conceição reset. That's what I saw. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But in that aspect of it, would I have given Conceição the nod of effective aggression? No. You feel what I'm saying? I wouldn't have gave it to him, but I didn't see the running thing.
Right.
But you know, that's just that. But what was the other point you wanted to cook up?
The writings on the wall, everybody, if you're listening, man, he said when they were looking for fighters on that undercard, he said inexpensive. Turkey said he was campaigning to fill the bottom of that card, put the names of the people in there, and we're looking for inexpensive. I'm like, not the guy with a gazillion, quadrillion dollars looking for inexpensive. I'm like, yeah, the writing on the wall, man. It's like, yeah, you're not going to be thinking that I'm just a sugar daddy. I'm going to need some sugar at some point, you know. So, you know, the lick, you know, people thinking they hit the lick. I think those times are over. Because I'm like, man, you hear a trillionaire, a billionaire, whatever they say he is. Well, the guy that has access to the billion, you know, the $1 billion is talking about inexpensive. I'm like, that shouldn't even be in your vocabulary, man. So I'm just letting everybody know that, yeah, people done ruined it. Because remember, we used to think, oh, man, if somebody just had the money, we could get these fights. Well, he came out with the biggest bag of money. We still didn't get these fights.
Yep.
So it was like, was it really money or was people really using that as an excuse? So, and now, you know, now he don't want Tom and Jerry's and he looking for inexpensive. You know what I'm saying? So that's the writing on the wall for y'all. That's you know, you gotta be able to read the signs, read the tea leaves, but you gotta be able to also interpret what he's saying. He's done paying for this. He done overpaying. I think he done realized, like, man, I gave Ryan 20 mil to do that, and he didn't even want to risk nothing. He just wanted to keep his hands in his pockets after getting dropped. It's like, no, you get your ass back up there, you make the adjustment, and you make it a fight. If you gotta go out on your shield, you go out on your shield, but you fight. I didn't just give you 20 million and give you all this promotion for you to keep your hands in your pocket to save face. And I didn't give Devin 5 or whatever he got to play Ring Around the Rosie. I did that to fight, and I didn't give Skull no money. He didn't even want to talk to Skull. He's like,
Yeah,
man,
that
get
was
your ass out the
crazy.
ring.
He just went in the ring, and the crazy thing was at the end of that Skull fight, nobody went to Skull's corner. Like the camera was facing Canelo, and every time it turned away to give Canelo's view, you see William Skull corner completely empty, and everybody, the commission, everybody was right around Canelo. I was like, that is crazy work. Motherfucker who couldn't cut off the ring is the victim. Poor Canelo. He shouldn't have been in the fight like that. Oh my God. There should be something done about these type of fighters that won't stand in front and just let Canelo pound on them. I'm like, wow, this is where boxing is these days. Okay, yeah, all right. Good luck with that, boxing.
And look, Bud did an interview, said he was getting 10. He said he was getting 10 mil. So if that's not writing on the wall for everybody, because if he only getting 10 mil to fight Canelo, I mean, what people thinking they gonna get if they're not putting butts in seats and bringing on exciting fights or something that's worth, that's gonna be worth the bag. Like, so if Bud, the guy that they saying is number 1 pound for pound, if he only gonna get 10 to fight the quote unquote biggest face of boxing, what did I tell you guys? You can get a couple extra dollars, but that sugar daddy shit, that shit is over. Y'all ruined it. Y'all ruined it. Just like all the people who ran up the PPP loan, y'all ruined it for a lot of people, a lot of businesses who could really use that money and did something by it, but y'all just ran it up. You know what I'm saying? We'll see the next time it's a crisis if they'll do it. So y'all wanted somebody to come in and be the savior of boxing and just put the money up and we gonna get it. It's like he put the money up and y'all didn't want to fight. So yeah. and the other writing on the wall is the pay scale for these people that's gonna be under that TKO. If that don't tell you something else, then hey man, y'all gonna have to fight and you gonna have to earn your keep the way it's supposed to be. The way it's like if you that guy, sometimes it's okay to bet on yourself where it's like, okay, at a minimum, this is what I'm getting. But if we have a good fight and we sell this motherfucker out, I can get as much as that, then I'm fighting my ass off. But y'all ruined it. Just remember the boxers who took that bread and wanted to do, didn't really want to do much for it and just wanted to take the bag and run, and you ain't want to give the sugar daddy no sugar. Y'all messed it up. Thank yourselves.
Yep.
But that's it for me, man. That's all I really had, man. I wanted to get off and kind of stay off the beaten path because I'm learning that people are just gonna troll on the same shit all day, every day. And I wanted to give these young guys, Truck, Jahi, Oshaquie, and COOLBOY some love, and let them know, hey man, we looking out for y'all. We hope y'all make some statements, and we looking, hoping that the boxing gods will let y'all go through a full camp and we don't get the plug pulled, because we keep getting the plug pulled on us. And that shit, that Shakur and Kid Austin, this De La Santos and this Keyshawn, like we keep getting the plug pulled some way. I'm just hoping that I got my fingers crossed that these are going to cross the finish line and we're going to get to see what we want to see out of this, because I like these fights.
Yeah, I like them too, man. Again, for anybody listening, this is just the first I heard of the fights. In fights like this, that are these 50-50 fights, for me, I go back and forth. 1 minute I'm looking at this dynamic, I may forget this dynamic, or I'll go back and look at another fight and be like, hey, wait a minute. I know I said this, but I just saw some shit and blah, 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 blah. So when it's these 50-50 fights, man, I'm just all over the place. And I'm going to be the first to admit that. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the biggest flip-flops when it comes down to a 50-50 fight. And I guess that's how you're supposed to be to a certain degree. But, that's just me. And but I love the fact that these fights are happening at this level. And hopefully, not every good fight needs to be a major showdown. You feel what I'm saying? These are solid fights for boxing fans. You know, if you're a fan of boxing, you're gonna tune into these fights. You're not gonna dog these shits. You're gonna say, "Yeah, I'm up for that," because these guys are up for their opponents. So, yeah, just keep giving me more action like this. You know, these fights that aren't traditionally made in this era that are being made, and this is where you know who's who and who's really doing their thing. And that's what I call it, man. And big shout out to that guy, Andy Cruz. He's listen. Yeah, listen, bro. Y'all got to stop sleeping on this guy and stop telling me about he's only 5-0 and he's at this level and all of this other stuff. He's doing everything right now. That call out of Keyshawn and what he said, and he was telling everybody, "Don't worry, just give him to me. I'll handle him. I'll get him for you." I was like, bruh, wow. So that's what you need in boxing these days. And great cook body, man. You know, like, subscribe. You know, hate, but make sure you participate. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to everybody that was on the panel. Pop a lot of smoke over his joint when he go live. We tend to go in on it. This Murderers Row Sunday might be interesting because we'll be talking about Saturday night fights and what happened and looking at the fights coming up. So yeah, that exactly.
But salute, AC, man. I appreciate you jumping in, man, and contributing the way you always do. I've been listening to the playback, man. You be dropping some jewels, man.
Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks a lot, man. So do you, bro. That's why they like coming over here and taking tidbits of the content. You feel what I'm saying? All right, bro. All
right, man. Have a good evening, bro. Yeah, man. A good little cook, man. I just ask that y'all support the channel, man. I'm not gonna beg. It'd be good to hit the Cash App. It'd be good to hit the Super Chat. Just to support, just to say, hey, man, I appreciate what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm kind of over people biting intellectual property. It's gonna happen. People using the jargon. That's gonna happen. I'm kind of over that. I still look at my channel as a place to where you can honestly assess boxing, man. I try to keep it down the middle as much as possible, and when I really don't have nothing good to say, I'll just take a couple of days off, you know, and enjoy it. And I also give myself time to just be a fan. It's okay to step back and just be a fan, you know. And I also believe in silence is consent, whereas all it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men and women to remain silent in things that are perpetuated. Because I'll give you a real example before I get off of here. Even with the debacle of what happened this past weekend with Keyshawn, there were still people making excuses, trying to explain it away, giving themselves reason as to why they're not going to speak, you know, on it or speak the truth. But these same people, they have no problems slandering other boxers who they don't particularly care for. That's my problem. They will go out of their way to incorporate or use certain boxers as examples to justify their bullshit. But when it comes down to actually policing up the sport of boxing in their conversation and saying something to actually voice an opinion, to actually keep boxing on the rails, they refuse to do it. So I call that hypocrisy. You know, because if you change that first name, that if you keep that same last name Davis, and you change that name from a Keyshawn to a Javante, it would have been no holds barred. They would still be doing 36-hour lives about it. Just like when he took the knee because of the hair grease, as opposed to anyway getting knocked down by a dude who nobody really knew other than hardcores. It's just that's the hypocrisy in boxing, man. And we try not to do that, man. If we see some hypocrisy, we're gonna speak to it. You know, like I said in the beginning of the show, I hope all of these young boxers get paid. I hope they all have and they leave with their faculties. You know, I don't believe in this being on code shit because we break code and shit on other boxers, just like all the shit that Richardson Hitchens is going through. Yeah, he talks some stuff. I find it sad that him and Tank are going through their thing, and in a way, I think Richardson allowed people to trick him off his square a little bit in his time to shine, because he already was like on a downward spiral, you know, as far as how people perceive him. Just because he became a champion. Let that sink in. You know, tables turn, man. And when you actually, you know, when the rabbit got the gun, which he have a belt, Devin don't have one, people still shitting on the dude, and he got it the hard way. You know, it's just weird out here, man. I'm trying not to get into their personal things, man. I just find it real funny how people change up their talking points and the things that really mean something to them, and how legacy means this, and how, you know, all of the standards, like just like people moving up, jumping up 2 weight classes and the double standards, and, you know, the flip-flopping of that, man. It's just a lot of mess out here, man. And I hope if you're listening to this channel, you're not a part of those conversations contributing to that bullshit. You know, all I ask is that, like I said, support the channel, man. It's greatly appreciated, man. Plus, I put in work. But we on big, you know what I'm saying? I try to be creative with the thumbnails, the artwork, the points. I try to leave something for you to put in your rucksack and march on with it. And basically try to provoke your critical thinking skills. You know, it's a lot of people out here that's going to talk to you and dumb you down and have you walking around regurgitating the same thing without any critical breakdowns. You know, that's what the channel Bodywork is here for. But anyways, man, I hope everybody, if I don't go live again before the fights, I hope everybody enjoy the fights. More than likely, I will either do a video or go live before the fight sometime. And this might be one of the fights where I actually call. I don't know. I might actually call this fight. But I hope everybody enjoy the rest of their work week. And the next time, if I don't do a video or talk live, you know, after the fights, I'm going to come out and do a video and break everything down that I see from a unique perspective. But that's pretty much all I have for y'all today, man. It was a nice little show, man. Check these guys out. Go do your homework on these guys. Go look up that Oshaquie Foster against Yakubov when he fought over there in Dubai. Go back and look at some of Jahi's fights. You know, you might appreciate these guys a little bit more. You know, so you'll have your expectations to be set when they actually get it on in the ring, man. Let's keep our fingers crossed that these actually get across. Nobody get hurt in training camp. Nothing weird and crazy happen. Because think about it. Tito Mercado was supposed to be on the same card. You know, it was supposed to be Richardson Hitchens, Andy Cruz, and Tito Mercado was the guys I was looking for. And Tito Mercado had to pull out for some injury. I still don't know what it is. I still got to do homework on that. But this is the fight this weekend that we're going to be looking at. These fights are to come, and I look forward to them. This fight with Truck and Jahi, that's on the 21st. This fight, the weigh-ins are tomorrow, but these two are, you know, Richardson Hitchens is fighting Kambosos. Andy Cruz is fighting the Japanese guy for an eliminator. So these are legacy fights right here. I think their stock is on the rise. But that's it. That's all, man. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh,
Welcome to Bodywork.